does the Belt and Road Initiative play in China's vision for the region, from your own perspective, of course?
From the Chinese perspective, let me share you our Chinese philosophical lens or perspective. As the art of war always remind us, opportunities multiply as they are seized. Through the Belt and Road Initiative, China is not just building infrastructure like we can see every day, it's building influence and alliance. And you may ask why? Because we have been facing a tremendous, significant amount of American troops, Navy, and Air Force all the way from Japan, South Korea, Philippines, and all the way to Singapore. And this is so-called the first island chain. And if war happens, the warship from China, the cargo ship cannot pass through the Taiwan Strait way to the West Pacific Sea, and this will be a chaotic situation for us. So that's why the Chinese government, they have been adopting our ancestors' perspective, our the knowledge, the wisdom to going westward. Because
I think the issue of Taiwan here adds to the complexity of the issue. I don't know if you agree with me or not. The issue of Taiwan.
Could you say again?
The issue of Taiwan is adding another dimension to this complex situation.
It is a core point during a trade war between China and United States, because from the Chinese perspective, Taiwan is an unfinished business. So that's why the Chinese call our army as a Chinese Liberation Army, not Chinese National Army, because Taiwan is a part of China from the Chinese perspective, and is an official statement that cannot be changed. So that's why Central Asia is a crossroad, a crucial point for us to going westward to get more gas, new weapons, resources all the way from Central Asia, and even to transfer all our products, the Chinese-made products, through Russia, Central Asia, all the way to Europe. And there has been lots of cargo trains all the way from the central core part of China to Germany, to Amsterdam.
Ms. Chapman, how critical are Central Asia's energy resources to U.S. geopolitical interests?
Central Asia, well, first of all, I wish to comment on what my colleague just mentioned as far as Sun Tzu. It is indeed supreme excellence to win without fighting. And the United States has seen China's strategies as far as the trade relations. And however, we have also seen that President Xi's micromanaging of the Chinese economy has, in some aspects, not strengthened the economy, but weakened China's economy. We see that China's high tariffs have not resulted in high inflation for China, but have actually, China has the highest tariffs and the lowest inflation in the world. So the United States is really closely looking at the economic practices of China and our own economic practices, and how this affects our broader economic strategy as far as trade with other countries and economic prosperity. To get back to the issue of how the energy resources of the Middle East affect the global economy, it's widely known that 15% of the world's energy supply comes through the Straits of Hormuz, which is controlled by Iran. Most importantly, the countries that do get that energy are China, Japan, South Korea, the Asian countries that are the economic powerhouses of production. So it's not just the 15% energy that's critical, it is also the countries that are using that energy. If conflict reduces the flow of energy through the Middle East to the economic powerhouses in Asia, that will have a much more detrimental effect on the global economy, of slowing the global economy, which will then affect even the United States. This will slow our economy. This will make our own energy prices more expensive. So any disruption of energy trade through the Straits of Hormuz, the Red Sea, has the potential to greatly negatively impact the global economy This is something that Trump and the American administration has to thread the needle and assert our influence and our demands
So,
with.
yeah, I would like to stop here. From what I understand from you now, is that the United States has its eye on the Strait of Hormuz for the resources in order, from its own perspective, to avoid the slowing down of its economy. Is that correct?
Well, this is correct. This is what we say
Mm.
because we need the global trade. However, the American statements, the Straits of Hormuz are also a platform that we're using for our aggression against Iran. As we've seen, our actions in the Straits of Hormuz have only made America appear weaker because we are engaging with the Houthis over control. We say they are slowing down shipping. In reality, they are only targeting Israeli ships as a result of the Israeli humanitarian blockade
So,
of
for
Gaza.
political and economic reasons.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, for political and economic reasons.
Mm.
And unfortunately, this is a misstep. It has made us appear weaker because we have been unable to exert our control over the Houthis, over the Straits of Hormuz. We have we have spent several $100 million in the last 2 months only to have our Predator drones shot down by the Houthis. Our lack of success in controlling the Straits of Hormuz has only made us appear weaker. And now that the United States is going into negotiations with Iran over their nuclear energy use, our recent activities and our lack of success against the Houthis has only weakened our position going into negotiations
Mm.
with Iran.
Okay.
So, very,
Right. Mhm.
very, very crucial.
Okay. Mr. Lee, how is Beijing responding to the evolving U.S. Indo-Pacific strategy? And we have just heard from Ms. Chapman that the United States has its eye on the Strait of Hormuz for political and economic reasons.
So from my own perspective, Beijing views the U.S. Indo-Pacific strategy as a form of strategic encirclement, but like we are not a sitting duck, so like we are ready for any kind of situation.
Mm.
From like naval expansion to and the ongoing trade war, the Chinese government and even 1.4 billion Chinese people are ready to strike for their own dignity, like including myself, because like if we don't protect ourselves, then like there will be a chaotic situation
Mm.
like we once faced in since 1842. And China emphasized win-win collaborations with Central Asia countries, despite the fact that there has been a so-called debt trap uh, dilemma or a theory, but like there has been an economic integration, like working with each other. For example, DeepSeek, Huawei, Xiaomi, like the telecommunication across all Central Asia countries, and there is a long-term plan about the railway all the way from Xinjiang towards Central Asia and towards Afghanistan, and it is a quite national project. So that's why Beijing has been doing all means or method to encounter the U.S. Indo-Pacific strategy.